I just got a load of soil and I was playing around in it and had some on my face. So I am going to allow a little bit of time for things to catch up. I'm looking at it on my computer and I'm not quite loaded yet, but there you go. There is everyone. Hello. How are you guys? There are a few people on. Welcome. This is our, I guess we do it seasonally, our seasonal live stream in the springtime. And we usually will do these 1 week after we have a Q&A video. And so we had our Q&A video last Tuesday, and on that Q&A video, we did a giveaway. And I tend to kind of sneak my giveaways in so that the scammers don't take hold. Because if you announce it in like word form in the title especially, they're going to come in and try to take advantage of you guys, and I don't want that. So that is where giveaways happen. So the entries are already done, and I am going to be drawing it here. Hello, I see you guys now. Hey, and then after we do the drawing for the Q&A, which we're going to be getting right into for a replay crew especially, we can do a little bit of a Q&A here if there's any more questions you guys have. You taking her outside?
Yeah.
So my daughter Addison, that's a bird. It's a sparrow, right?
Yeah.
Well, every year there's sparrows that fall out down from the barn. They're like way too high to put the babies back, or out of trees after windstorms, and she nurses them back to health and lets them go. So she's got a little bird. That's what you heard. But this is what was given away. Where's the front? Oop, right there. The Bee Attuned Mushroom Blend from the Homestead. I really love this stuff. I don't take it every single day, but I am on their like subscription renewal. This is an adaptogen. It's like an herbal, it's not herbal necessarily because it's mushrooms. It's the fruiting body of the mushrooms, but it's in the same kind of like natural medicine type thing, and really helps just balance your body out. And I really like it. It's very good. I put it in my coffee. I wanted to give this away, and it doesn't matter where you live. But in order to enter, you had to comment about what your favorite herbal thing was, or if it wasn't, like just mention something herbal. There were a couple people that were like, I don't like anything herbal. And I thought that would be the case. And that's an entry, and that works out fine. So I've loaded the video in my random comment picker. We're going to pick the winner for this right now, and I will send it out. Oh my God. Okay, I just saw my friend Andrea is in the chat. She said, hey, Hef. And I was like, oh God, who is it? Because I haven't been called that in many years. It's Andrea, my best friend from childhood. Okay. So here's the random comment picker, and I'm going to have the link loaded already. So this was the video that the giveaway is going to be drawn from. Now the comment that is going to win has to talk about an herbal thing. Something herbal. 170 comments on that video. You guys ready? Drum roll, please. So I only use herbs for teas and seasoning food. Oregano is my favorite for cooking. Sandy Rees 490. You are our winner. So the only thing that I need is your address, the shipping address, and you can email that to me, SageAndStoneHomestead@gmail.com, spelled all out. And if you want, you can look on the channel under the About section. The email is there as well. It may be a little bit different. I might have my website email on there. Either way, it all filters to the same place. So just email me your shipping address. I don't need anything else. So if some scammer tries to come and get your card information or whatever, I don't need that. So it's not me. But Sandy Rees 490. Maybe I can copy this into chat. I don't know if you're here. Sometimes the winner is in the chat, and that's always fun. Okay. You are our winner. Okay, and I will go on to that video as well and try to tag Sandy, because good stuff. There you go. So apparently they don't ship to Canada. So I don't know where Sandy is, but if she's in Canada, she gets to try that out. So, hello, you all. Does anyone have any questions you would like me to answer? Because I am all yours for about an hour. Kind of just depends. If there's not a lot to talk about, we'll end sooner, but I do have places to go today. Today is a busy Tuesday. That's why we're here in the middle of the day, because I just didn't have time later. Sorry. So there's probably going to be quite a few people watching the replay, which is fine. Yeah. We'll post the replay here, making sure there's nothing crazy in my coffee, because it is that time of year. Hello, Elaine. I'm going to see if I missed anything. I'm going to scroll a little bit. We just missed ya. We're still here, Elaine. Okay, I'm scrolling. So far, nothing. So I did get my big batch of soil today. I sent Levi. And I did get a different soil than I got last year. And the reason that I got another big trailer of soil is because I'm still putting raised beds together and still filling them. I was out in the garden too, and I did go with a different company this year. I can't tell if I'm going to be happy or not. Last year I got probably 4 pallets of the Kellogg's soil over the course of the garden season, Kellogg's raised bed garden mix. It was okay. I feel like there's no great soil anymore out there, especially organic. And so this year I went with a Miracle Grow raised bed soil, and it's got a lot more wood in it than the Kellogg's did last year. So I'm still kind of deciding what to do. It also smells a little bit like manure, so I'm worried that it's hot. I got a suggestion from one of our members over on Discord to plant a bean in it, so that's the plan. To plant a bean. How'd you separate your Nigerian dwarf milk before you got a cream separator? I didn't. When I had my Nigerian dwarves and I didn't have a cream separator, I didn't make butter. You can, though. If you let Nigerian dwarf or any goat's milk sit for long enough, it will create a little bit of a cream cap. It's just not as defined or thorough as a cow would be, but you can let it sit. And I have got some friends that actually will skim off some of that cream and store it in the freezer until they amass enough to make butter. So that's an option as well. Like literally skim it with a spoon. You can totally do that. And I have also used like one of those silicone straws, literally siphoned it off of the top of the milk into another jar, and you can freeze it until you get a lot. Ooh, Jennifer Bauer's making bagels. I just started making bagels. I've made them twice. I need to get into a regular routine of making bagels. They're actually easier than you think. I think the part that really hung me up was the boiling step. I thought that was intimidating, and it really just takes doing it to understand that it is quite simple, and so that's fun. Little Creek's got doctor's appointments today. Well, I want to say have fun with that, but it's not always fun, but it's good to do. Do you grow sweet potatoes, and if so, what variety do you recommend? I have grown them in the past. We actually get whatever potatoes happen to be at our local Amish store, and then I will grow slips from that. I don't have plans to grow sweet potatoes this year. I didn't grow sweet potatoes last year. They're good. We just don't go through them as much as white potatoes. So I do have some white potatoes planted this year, and I don't know what variety that they are. I have grown like a purple variety in the past because that's what they had at the store, and I have grown like, your regular orange variety in the past. Oh, Molly's having some fermented carrots today. She wanted to show you. But I don't know exactly what they are. They're just whatever they have, and they are locally grown. So the Amish will grow them and then sell them at the store. I figured out how to do closed captions for the live. Yay! That's cool. I don't know how closed captions work. Good job. Jill is getting 2 Nigerian dwarves in June. Do I have advice for gaining their trust? So I'm actually needing to gain some trust of some of our babies that were born this year. They were all born so fast, and there was a ton of them, and it was also cold, and so it was hard to sit down there and socialize the babies. It really was. So what I'm doing that right now. I literally yesterday just sat down with the goats and let them play around me. We've got the spools over by the barn that the baby goats especially really love to play on. And I just sat on one of the spools, and I didn't reach out to try to touch them or anything. I just sat there, and they would come up to me, kind of look at me. It's really just Talia's twins, Helicity and Gale. They're a little bit skittish, and so I just sat there and let them just see that I'm safe. And eventually I'll be able to really go up to them without them running away. They don't run super bad, and I can catch them if I need to, but that's my advice, is just to sit and wait, bring treats, let them know that you are good. My friend Mary on her channel, she says, you know, you're going to learn that I'm the lunch lady. And so just time and patience. It's going to take a lot of patience. Yeah, and sometimes, but if they don't gain your trust now, sometimes attending their birth can really help. There's like hormones and things that go on that are exchanged, and they can bond with you if you're there when they give birth. Are the artichokes what you're most excited for this year in the garden, or are there a few plants? So I am excited about the Jerusalem artichokes, but I just ordered some roselle seeds. And someone had asked me years ago, Heather, have you ever grown roselle? And I haven't. Roselle is a variety of hibiscus. It looks a lot like okra, like the plant looks a lot like okra when it grows, but it puts on, I can't remember what it's called. It's this little bulb thing instead of like where the okra would grow. It's this beautiful, bright red, shiny bulb. I think it's maybe called a calyx. It's got an interesting name, but you can brew that into tea. You can make that into jams and jellies. Apparently it tastes like cranberry. So I think I'm most excited about that, to be honest. The seeds are still in the mail. Ideally I would have started it, 8 weeks ago, but it needs about 100 days to get to maturity, or to get big enough to where it's worth the squeeze with the amount of flowers it'll put on in fall. But we've got a longer growing season, so I think we can get away with it. Yes, Rocky Canyon, you caught my live. I don't do lives that often for the public. I do them once every season, so like 4 times a year. So it's a little bit hard to come across one of my lives. For our members, who are the people that you see with little hoof print next to their name, we go live every week. I go live every Saturday. And so, you know what? I can actually give away some memberships. Let me see if I remember how. And then you guys, yep, so this is all random. The memberships that are given away are all random. There it goes. Yay, we've got Jennifer back. And then I got one more batch to give away. So the membership to the channel gets you guys the weekly lives, and it gets you the first pick of anything that goes onto the website, which has been a little while since anything like merch or whatever went on the website. That's usually a fall and winter thing for me. And you get to see the videos a day in advance. And you get access to our members and prior members Discord server. So there we go. There's the gifted memberships that YouTube lets me give away every month. I think I'm able to give those away. So it's a fun time. And when we have goats giving birth, the members get to see the births on live stream. So those are a few of the little perks. I think it's worth it. It's a fun time too. We've got a really great community over on Discord. So I'm going to scroll up. I screwed myself up. I might have missed a question. If I did, feel free to ask it again. Yeah, Andrea, my friend Andrea, she said she's overdue for a visit. I was literally thinking that. I was. You could come down anytime. You know that I don't go places. My friends know I don't go places.
Except for today. We're going somewhere.
Yeah, today we're going somewhere. Gotta mentally prepare to go places. Okay, I see the sweet potato question. I see the artichoke question. That might have been us catching up on questions. My wife and I have learned so much from watching your videos. You've been a game changer for our gardening adventures. Rocky Canyon Corin. Thank you. That means a lot. That's the whole reason we do this, is to help make an impact and help encourage other people that are doing the thing, because this stuff is hard. Like, if it's not like physically hard, it's mentally can be very taxing. Congrats all. I'm still trying to figure Discord out. It's a thing. It was hard for me to figure out, trying to get it going, but I do have a Facebook page. There's somebody who has started a Facebook page in our name, but it's not us. And I've been trying to battle with Facebook to get that removed because they've started reposting my videos. Not started. They did it last year. Reposted my videos and things, and I didn't really like that. But I felt like, well, Facebook really needs you to have your own Facebook in order to fight that. So I do have a little bit of a Facebook presence, but I'm not on there a lot. And I wanted a space where we could come together, like on a Facebook group, minus Facebook, to just engage with each other. And it's been really fun on Discord. You are welcome for the membership. Christy's crazy. Are the kids helping out with the Clubhouse? Primo homeschool learning. Yes. Do you guys want to see it? Do you guys want to see where it's at right now? Like a spoiler? I gotta find my shoe. I'm gonna turn y'all around. And we'll check just a little peek, okay? And they have been helping with the Clubhouse. And the rose arbor. Ta-da! That's where it's at. We're trying to decide if we want to do a shade cloth or like more of a sturdy roof on it. But it's going to have a swing set and a slide and all kinds of things. And there's going to be cattle panel that makes it so they can't fall off. So that's how that's going. It's going very well. Oop! Flinging the door too hard. What's going to happen to Lightning? Is he being sold? I may have missed a video. So Lightning, he's got a lot of inquiries, but nobody has like solidly claimed Lightning. So far Lightning is just hanging out. He's tiny. He eats nothing. I'm fine holding him as long as I can. Come winter time, he has to go, no matter what. And I'm really hoping someone wants him because he's sweet. But I can't keep all the goats. I need to par down numbers over winter. So I have a local friend who may want him. A lot of her goats, like she has a bunch of goats, and she bought one that taught all the other ones to jump the fence. And she's like so frustrated because they're getting in her garden and everything. Some of them she's had to keep tethered because they just keep getting out and it's a whole mess. But she's thinking about starting over and getting Lightning as like the buck that she starts over with. So I'm hoping that happens, but it hasn't been set in stone yet. There's Levi. That's what you get. You get a drive-by. The members know that that Levi does drive-bys. Heather, someone mentioned to me female rabbits castrating males in colonies. Thoughts? So I don't know a thing about castrating rabbits. I know that people will take them to the vet to have them neutered. But I don't know anything about doing that or really colony settings for rabbits at all. I haven't done that. I've thought about it, but it's not out of the realm of possibility for me to try like a little mini colony somewhere someday, especially figuring out that the pelletized pine chips really do make a nice pack on our clay soil. So I might be able to get away with it. Little colony somewhere. Hi, Blue Roof Hill Garden. Okay, Caleb says, I can't wait to see you all in the fall. I have plans to go get a gorgeous little buck from D next month. Oh, love it. Are you on my wait list for goats? I've got the wait list going for fall kids. And D is where she has Buck Creek Stables in Smiths Grove, Kentucky. That's where I got Tori and Farrell. Wonderful, wonderful goats. With your wind, I would go with a sturdy roof for the clubhouse, says Elaine. I know. And like the way that it's situated, it would catch the worst winds that we have. It would just, they'd catch in there, which is one of the reasons I kind of wanted to go shade cloth, because I figured it would blow through better instead of just hold. But Levi builds things very sturdy. Like he knows that the wind is crazy here, and literally everything that he's built has not budged in some of the craziest winds that we've had. So I think no matter what we do, it will be okay. Yeah, another person said you want a sturdy roof. So the pigs have a shade cloth in their area. I did remove it for wintertime, but it has gone through some crazy winds and it's fine. It's just zip tied to the PVC pipe out there and it hasn't budged because we buy the good quality shade cloth from Grower Solution. They're in Tennessee, so close by us. I'm just trying to make sure I haven't missed any. I don't deliver goats, but I do have a transporter. JD transportation. Now he might take several weeks, but I'm fine with that. He'll pack up a whole bunch of things, and then he'll make like a good plan to go across the country, and he'll fit you into the plan. And it's worth the wait because he's very inexpensive. He brought up from Georgia Foxy and Mooch last year. I paid $125 to transport them, and I didn't have to drive 16 hours. Like, obviously that would have been a lot of gas. There would have been a lot of like food because I would have had to eat. It would have been an overnight stay somewhere. It would have been a lot more stressful than the goats. He picked them up in the morning and boop, came up to me, and it was cheap. So, but I did have to wait. I bought them. I put a deposit down, and then before he left, I paid the rest of it, and it was probably 6 weeks that I had to wait, but it was totally worth it. Oh, so Elaine asked if the lower ranking females, or the females may castrate lower ranking males in colony settings for rabbits. I don't know. I have heard that females will do that. I have never seen an aggressive female like that. I know they exist. I probably wouldn't keep an aggressive female, but I have heard of that, and I would guess that that's not out of the question. But someone who does rabbit colonies would know way more. Do you do anything differently when you have some babies that are not growing as quickly as others? I think that you may mean goats. And I think a lot of that is genetics. Now, my goats are massive this year, the babies. I just did a weight tape around some babies yesterday, and Fury's buck, both of them, are almost 50 pounds. And they're, goodness, I've got a thing up here. Let me look. I have cheat sheets everywhere for all the things. So, Fury's babies were born on the 5th of February. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 weeks old tomorrow, 50 pounds. Like, I thought that was huge for a mini La Mancha. We breed our mini La Manchas at 80 pounds. So to be 30 pounds away from breeding age, or breeding weight, at this age is actually insane to me. Now, the only thing that I've done different, 2 things that I've done different this year than in years past, is the ryegrass. They've got ryegrass and they love it. I've not quite stopped feeding hay, but I feed a lot less hay than I would normally this time of year. I'm usually still feeding hay full time this time of year. So the ryegrass that they love, and I had protein pails in the girl barn this fall. And I don't normally do that. Thank you, Glory to God Homestead. I appreciate that. A little super chat. See if I can heart it. Ooh, there we go. Thank you very much. So yeah, they're huge. Going well. Those boys were on their mom full time. I know that breeders that bottle feed will say that you need to bottle feed for an extended length of time, like up to 16 weeks, in order to get them to gain weight. But the protein pail has done really well for us. I'm guessing that's what it is. Do you have any other options besides giving a copper bolus to a goat, making it a lot easier to do? So a lot of people they'll open up the capsule or not for the copper bolus, put it inside a Fig Newton, and feed it to the goats. I've never tried that, but one of these days I will. And that seems really simple. They just eat it like a treat. I've not done it, but a ton of people do. Okay, you've got Nigerian dwarves. Nigerian dwarves grow slow anyway. They're just tiny. So Lightning was born in October, and he is smaller than the babies that were born in springtime. He's tiny. Some Nigerian dwarves don't get to be more than like 50 pounds as an adult. So it just kind of depends. Do you have any other options? Oh, that was the copper question. New mineral this year too for the milk taste, right? Yeah, that was last year. That was cobalt, but that was given to them after we had babies born. So yes, the cobalt block, which they really mowed that down when I first put it in there. It's like half gone. And that happened really fast. And as soon as they balanced out, they really don't go for it right now. Once in a while, I'll see one of them at it. but it's not nearly as much as it used to be, so they must have balanced out. So Elaine said she had a couple of aggressive female rabbits. We called a beautiful black New Zealand doe because she attacked the buck. Thankfully, we had just trimmed her nails or she may have gutted him. Holy cow. I can't even imagine an aggressive rabbit like that. That is insane. That's probably scary. Because goodness, they are all nails and teeth. Oh no, she started coming after us when she got old enough for breeding. Oh no. Nope. I have had rabbits kind of defend their nest before of babies. They kind of growl and then like move their paw like that at you, but I give them a little bit of grace when they're protecting their babies, for sure. Hi, Aislinn. Hello. Andrea, Addison's asking if you guys have gotten the letters that she sent over the last little bit. She sent some letters to Simon. I don't know if you've gotten them. I might have your address wrong. Obviously, don't put it here. My biggest girl was 80 pounds when she was pregnant, and she's a Nigerian dwarf. I have some big Nigis too. Apparently 80 to 100 pounds is large in the Nigerian dwarf world. So, yeah. Anyways, I was talking a little bit about the soil that I bought, and has anyone ever used the Miracle-Gro organic raised bed soil? Looks like they did a little bit of a rebrand on it, but that's what I bought, a lot of it, and it's pretty woody, and I'm a little bit nervous. So I am going to be planting a bean in it to see what it does, because it also smells a little bit, I can smell the manure, which concerns me that it's a little bit hot. It may not be, but if you guys have used that soil, I'd love to hear what you thought. And I'm still filling beds because I'm going to be loading the lane with beds. I'm going to be putting some more beds in the tea garden. Like, I still need to buy soil right now because I can't produce that much soil. And when we have purchased like the bulk soil from like the big mulch places where you can get like a cubic yard of it, put in your truck bed or whatever, that was horrible. That was a bad choice. At least here. Locally, that wasn't good. Okay, Rebecca says she's used the moisture control. I don't think I've seen that. Tricia says, I had a standard Rex doe that bit me once. I held her down to the cage floor for a minute. She never bit me again. I have heard of doing that kind of thing with chickens. Like chickens or like turkeys. Just like pinning them for a little bit to let them know that you are boss. That is good to know that works with rabbits. Okay, so Heidi says she has used that soil a few years ago. Worked fine, not since COVID though. And that's the thing. That was the turning point. I think that basically every soil company hasn't been able to catch up since then, because there's still a demand, and how do you catch up with something that needs to age? It's like you have to skip a year, but who's going to want to do that? No one wants to do that. So you kind of have to do that extra year of breakdown in the garden, and that's hard to balance. That's for sure. Oh yes, Mystical Cat said that a lot of people will put the copper bolus for goats inside a banana. Some of my goats, we've tried to give them banana peels. They don't want it. I've seen other goats go crazy for bananas and banana peels. I don't think I've tried a whole banana before, but I've tried the peel. So yes, Jessica said, I use Fox Farm ocean and land potting mix. It's so good, very rich soil. I don't know which Fox Farm's soil it was, but that is the first soil that I used where I thought I was buying a better product, and it was horrible. And I don't remember what year it was, but I remember I had been buying the Miracle-Gro, just the regular Miracle-Gro conventional soil at first, when we first bought the farm. And I wanted to do a little bit more natural. I went with Fox Farm, and I was totally traumatized with all of it. Just didn't do well, and I was brand new to gardening basically, and I didn't know why it wasn't doing well. In hindsight, it was all the bark in it. And now I will say, the soil that I bought, it says that it was produced within 150 miles of here. So this same soil, I don't know, in Virginia might be different, the same brand, because the production facilities seem to be local, which is nice for resource allocation. But I imagine it makes for an inconsistent product, like across the board, unless they have certain standards. But there's like probably local materials in it that would make the difference. I don't know for sure though, but that's my thinking. Trisha says she tried Miracle Grow Organic soil at some point. It seemed to be fine. It's got bark, like more bark than I have seen in a while. It's not like mulch, but it's not super far off. And I was feeling through the bags. There's a lot of bags out there. It all kind of feels the same. Rebecca's goats love banana, plantains, carrot peels, and apple peels. I don't think I've tried the carrot peels or apple peels before. I tend to not peel my carrots or my apples, but that'd be something I'd really like to see. My goats love animal crackers. Like, they will run you over for some animal crackers. Christy says, buying soil is a lot like gambling. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And that's how I feel. So one of the reasons that I went with a different company this year was I was looking at the reviews on the soil from this year, because I'm a little bit late buying my soil. And some of the reviews on the Kellogg's raised bed were bad. And they like had pictures and everything. And I was like, oof, maybe I don't want to do that this year. It was fine. It wasn't ideal. It wasn't great last year, but it was fine. And I'm a little bit like wondering if I made the wrong choice, but we'll see. I have no idea if they'd take it back. It was on sale. So it might be just be something that I deal with for this year. Know that it's going to break down and it'll be better next year. That's kind of how new garden spaces are anyway, especially with the way soil is right now. So there are 67 people on, because we're here in the middle of the day. But it's the time that I had. I apologize. Okay, Heather McCarthy says, my concern with using anything from a bag that has a stink of manure is not only that it is potentially hot, but also could attract vermin. Very interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that, but you're probably not wrong. Like bugs. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about rodents? Because I would think like the bugs that break down soil would be attracted to something like that, or like flies or whatever. We're on your list for a doling or for 2 in fall. We are the farm with the micro goats. LOL, largest baby we had this year. He's a single born buck, maybe 15 to 20 pounds now at 8 weeks. Ah, adorable. My friend Megan, her farm, they don't live that far from here, and their goats are teensy. Like 2 pounds is not unheard of. I have never had a 2-pound goat born here. And they've had them less than 2 pounds before. Insane to me. Okay, sorry I missed. Casey Benson, let's see. I'm scrolling, honey. I didn't see it. I got 1.5 quarts. Hold on, scrolling. You might want to ask it again because I think it's lost. I don't know. Okay, I turned on live chat. Sometimes YouTube doesn't give me all the comments if I don't have live chat turned on. I had top chat turned on, and I don't think your question came through, Casey Benson's. So ask it again so I can see it. Okay, Kelly Ellis, I purchased some ground goat meat. Ideas for uses that give us the best chance to like it. I use ground goat just like I used ground beef. Now, probably the easiest way to like disguise it if you're not sure that you're gonna like it is to make like a pasta sauce with the ground meat in it. So it's gonna be covered in like that acid that might help cut any fat that you're not used to tasting, and I think that you'll enjoy it. That's what I think. I really like goat meat. I have been told though that dairy goat tastes a lot different than meat breed goat. I don't know. I've never had meat breed goat. I've only ever had my goats. Levi, you had goat curry, right?
Yeah, but it just tastes like curry.
Yeah, he had goat curry in Europe. And was it in Europe, honey?
It was in Colorado.
Oh, it was in Colorado. Where did you have goat curry in Colorado? Where was I?
I don't know. I was at work.
Okay, he had goat curry at work one time, but all he could taste was the curry. The vermin that was attracted to my bed with manure smell was my dog. Dang. Heather McCarthy said the vermin she's had is rats, flies, possums, raccoons, and we use anything that smelled manure-ish in the beds without covering it well. Wow. So I did get a lot of the hardwood bark mulch that I really like, but goodness, I don't know if that would mask the smell, because you know those types of animals have a higher sense of smell than we do. Could you do an in-depth goat nutrition video? How much grain, when you raise or lower the amount, what's the process for that? How much do bucks get? What kind of hay is best? Minerals and supplements. Here's the thing. I haven't done that because it's extremely variable. Like, even on the same farm, I was just texting my mentor 2 days ago to try to make an adjustment to my feed program because I just added in black oil sunflower seeds, hoping that I could use that instead of the rice bran pellet that I had purchased before to keep condition on my high capacity large breed goats. And it's not working. Elsa and Clover are both looking thin. And so I showed her pictures of the goats and I said, this is what I'm doing. She said, you need to add in the rice bran pellet again. And, but it's not all the goats that are like that. A lot of them are holding condition well. It's just those two really crank it out genetically. And so they need a little bit extra boost. I think it is a skill that you have to learn to be able to look at your goats and then decide what's needed. And I know that's hard to hear, but it's just like, it's something that happens with time. But very basic nutrition. You just want to make sure that you have a decent amount of protein. This all depends on where they're at in their lactation stage of lactation. I like at least 15%. And then you want it to have at least a 2-to-1 calcium to phosphorus ratio. And that's just to prevent stones. Besides that, it all just depends on what your needs are and what minerals and things your land has to offer them, what their forage is like that they're getting all the time. And that's why it's hard. Like, there's no one person that can do the same thing. Even my friend Megan, who doesn't live very far, she actually has rocks on her land. And her land was not heavily cultivated for, years and years and years, decades. Our land was. And so we have a lot less mineral content in the goats' forage than they do. So they have a lot of a different program than I do. I need way more minerals here, and they need a lot less. So it's all just dependent. So I don't think I'm really going to do a video like that because I feel like it would be kind of frustrating. But maybe not. Maybe not, because I wouldn't ever want to tell somebody this is what I do, have you replicate it, and it not work out. Because areas are so different. Hi, Kelly. We've been using the pink bag of Kellogg soil, and it's a hit and miss. I've gotten a few bags that have a lot of bark. That's what I bought last year. I bought a bunch of it. And the first few bags, I bought like 10 bags to start with. Those really impressed me. I put them in the blueberry beds. I thought that was great. There was very little bark. As the season went on, it got more barky. And so, yeah. And then I tried to compensate for what I knew the soil was going to be using in nitrogen in order to break down the bark. I tried to give fertilizer to the plants, and I overdid it. And then we got a bunch of aphids and things, and that was a mess. So I'm trying to rectify that in the greenhouse right now. That was me. K Slay. You're welcome. It's random. I'm allowed to give away 10 memberships a month, and it just goes, YouTube decides. And you got chosen. So I guess it was YouTube. Ooh. The problem with soybean meal is finding it affordable so it says guaranteed non-GMO. Oh man. I don't know anything about soybean meal. I do know though. So the guy that came and got my bees, his name is Ryan, and he also raises chickens. And he had said that he's going to start feeding his chickens duckweed. Because apparently duckweed has a ton of protein, like 40% protein. So for like a chicken feed supplement, that would be amazing. I don't know if goats would eat it. But you had to be careful with a lot of protein in goats too. There's a balance because it can mess with their systems. They have to be utilizing it well, or it's going to bog them down. Do you think that there are any hazards to having chickens and turkeys with goats? No, I used to have turkeys with my goats, and on occasion I'll put goats in with my chickens, and I think it can actually be beneficial because the chickens, and probably the turkeys, but especially chickens, they will scratch through and like eat the goat pellets, and they make it so that the parasite load is like their life cycle is interrupted. And so I had a bunch of goats kind of in the back pasture last year that were very, very anemic after I kind of just set them out to pasture and not fully ignored them, but somewhat ignored them for several weeks, up to a month. That like I fed them, I watered them, they were fine, but I didn't like look at them to make sure that they were not getting anemic, and they were. They were anemic. By the time I went around to do the feet and things, they were very anemic, except for the ones that were hanging out with chickens. So those goats were with chickens that probably were eating up their poops and breaking up the parasite life cycle, but I also had been feeding those specific goats a lot of leftover whey. So they had a lot more protein coming in to help support their systems. So I think it's good. I don't really see a hazard besides making sure that the goats don't get into the chicken feed. The way that we are able to mitigate that is when I have goats in with the chickens, I'll feed the chickens outside of the wire. And the wire out there is 2 inches by 4 inches, so the chickens can get their heads through and peck the feed. And the goats they put their nose out and they try to lick up a little feed, but they can't get enough to hurt them. And so just managing the feed so that the goats don't really get into it would be the only hazard that I could really see. In your last video, you showed us the petunias hanging in the praying mantis babies. Hanging for the praying mantis babies. I thought I saw another cocoon up high towards the back panel. May have been something else, but maybe there's 2. There are 2 praying mantis egg capsules up there. There's one on the top and there's one on the side. And there's another one on one of the peach trees. So there's going to be so many, and I'm so excited. How do you know if you received a gifted membership? So you have to tell YouTube that you want to accept gifted memberships. They don't just automatically go. And I have looked at this in the past and accidentally gave myself a gifted membership one time, so I closed it down. But I think it's like a setting, and I don't remember if it's on my page or your general YouTube page that you would request. I'm trying to look. That you would request membership gifting. But that's something to potentially Google to find out. But you have to turn that on. And once you turn that on, you're able to receive a gifted membership when the option is given. Can you tell us more about the protein bucket? Is it specifically for goats and sheep? Yes, I bought, it was, goodness, what was it called? It's a sheep pail specifically, but I'm trying to remember. Combot sheep protein pail. I believe it's 16%. I'm trying to remember which one. Yeah, the OptiFirm. The OptiFirm Licks for sheep is what I bought. It's 15%. And it said, feed to them before breeding and lambing and to all sheep or goats on medium to low quality pasture, hay, or forage. So it helps just kind of supplement them with whatever they're getting out there. I don't necessarily know the composition to the hay that I buy. I don't necessarily know the composition to the grass that I have growing out there. I haven't done soil tests. You can send in samples of hay and other forages to get tested. I don't remember where, but I have heard of people doing this to figure out exactly how much protein and things that they're getting. But if you don't want to mess with that and you think that it might be a little bit lower quality, like I think my forages are a little bit lower quality, giving them access to a protein pail could really help. Combot. I will type it. Combot, OPTI. This is what I bought. That. I've been using my broken down deep bedding for my chickens to amend my soil. So if there's a lot of bark, it all evens out. And see, that's, I think, what I'm going to do. Instead of add in, I was using Trifecta Plus, which is a fertilizer that I do like. I bought more of it because I felt like, to a certain extent, it saved my garden last year. Even though it didn't perform as well as I had hoped, I felt like I would have gotten a lot less had I not done that. But I do think that I overdid it. There's an imbalance out there, whether it was my creation or not. But I think that if I noticed, what I'm going to do is mix rabbit manure in, because rabbit manure is a lot lower on the NPK. It is organic matter, and I think that that could help without overdoing. So I think that's where I'm going to start. I believe that there is, you get an email, Elaine, if you got the membership, and then your comment, you would see your little hoof print next to your name. I don't see it there. So, yeah. So I'm really hoping that the soil works out. I have not pulled out the maypop seed out of the fridge yet. It does need scarification. So I need to get some sandpaper and scratch it up and then germinate those. I've seen some really crazy suggestions on how to have a great germination rate with maypops. I saw somewhere that you can put the seeds in vinegar to help like soften and scarify the outside. You put it in vinegar overnight and then germinate the seed, and that's supposed to work really well. So I need to do a little bit more research because I've never started those from seed. I've just found them on the property. It's funny because I mentioned in a video that's coming up soon, oh, we don't have anything cool that just appears on our property. I lied. There's definitely the maypops. Those are cool. So all I see, Casey Benson, all I see is she is my first dairy doe. I don't know what to do. But I don't know what you're asking. What was the question? Because that's the only thing I see is the question of, it just says, she is my first dairy doe. I don't know what to do. But I don't know what you're asking. Because I don't see anything else. I scrolled. So, but yes, all the goats are doing well. So yesterday, you know, we put up the big fence, not the big fence, but the permanent fence around the greenhouse for the boy goats. And yesterday I decided to let out the baby boys to run around. And we are finding the faults in the fence because those babies, it's not the fence, it's the gate. Some of the spaces where the gate meets the pole are like about like this. And really, if they can get their head through, they can squeeze the rest of their body through. And little Ruckus just went, whoop, he like slid right out. And I said, no, you come right back. So I put them back in their little pen. And we just need to put, you know, a piece of wood up where they were scooting through to prevent them from coming through. No, I don't know. It's not sending. It might have some words in it that YouTube is blocking. Casey Benson. Yeah, I turned on all chat and it's not coming up. Hi, Robin. Got Robin in the house.
Robin is a bird.
Hi, Dry Gulch Farm. Oh, okay. There we go. I just got my goat a month ago. She kidded after a week. One side of her udder got hard and dried off. Did it ever produce milk? Sometimes they can have congested udder that does not allow milk to come out of the teat. They can have scarring on the inside. I've had a doe with that before, and nothing I did helped. Nothing. And so I did sell her. But that's up to you. Some does can do fine with one side working. Some does put out so much milk that it doesn't matter. So it's really up to you, as long as she's healthy, if you like her. I love your videos. I always wanted to ask you, is that your favorite shirt? Not necessarily. I really like the longer, like the dresses that I wear. But, so this is LuLaRoe. Like, this is old. I think LuLaRoe isn't even a thing anymore. So this was pre-farm when I cared about stuff like that. And I have been trying to kill these clothes for 5 years, 6 years. I've been wearing around the farm trying to kill them and they won't die. I don't necessarily like these because they're polyester and they're hot. So it's nice and flowy, but it's hot in the summer. So there's some things I like about them, some things I don't, but I'd rather have cotton because it breathes a lot better. But I don't really want a brand new wardrobe. I'll just cycle out pieces as they die. This one, they just won't die. I do like it though. Oh good, your goat gave you 1.5 quarts this morning. I mean, it's probably fine if you're happy with it. It's all dependent on what you want to get out of your goats. Like, I can't really tell anyone what to do with their goats. If if someone's goat doesn't produce a lot, but it provides a lot of like emotional, like you really like the goat, but they produce like a cup of milk a day, it might not matter. Like my opinion might not matter. I really like to get at least out of my Nigerian dwarves, I like to get 3 cups a day, milking once a day out of them. But you know, if you've got a heart goat that produces less, then keep the goat. Like, it's fine. Connie is asking, are you going to grow loofah this year? No, because I have a ton of loofah from this past year and the year prior. Tons of it. And I sold a bunch of it. And there's still some that is still inside, like the brown casing, just all around. Like, if you look in the background of videos, you'll just see loofah. There's loofah littered everywhere. and so I don't need it this year. It lasts forever. I've got scrubby in my shower, and I've got one by the kitchen sink, and you can't kill it, just like this shirt. It won't die. And so it lasts long enough to where I don't feel like I need to grow it every year, which is great. Where do you get all your goat shirts and the goat hoodie? So I've had some of the goat shirts that I have were sent to me by viewers, which I really appreciate. Like the sunflower with the little La Manchas on the side. I love that. I'm wearing that to death. And that was sent to me by a viewer. But the hoodie that I have, that's the skull and crossbones, that's actually a cow. So it's from it's a kid's TV series. What's the thing called?
The Wing Feather Saga.
Yeah, but the Angel Studios. There we go. It's on Angel Studios, the Wing Feather Saga. Do you have your cow? Can I see your cow? There's a character, not really a character, but it's an animal that's on this kid's TV show called a toothy cow. It's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is what that is on my shirt. It's a toothy cow, and it's just part of the thing, the TV show. And I bought that from Angel Studios directly. You need more barbed wire to kill the shirt. We have some barbed wire, but it's low down to keep the neighbor's dog out. This is another thing. It's a squeeblin. Oh, I know, we've got all these. But yeah, that's what's on the shirt. It's a toothy cow. And I just liked it. So I needed a new sweatshirt, and they had them. No, that shouldn't affect her daughter, Casey Benson's. That kind of a thing isn't like genetic. Like maybe the propensity to get congested udder, like whatever started it, could be genetic, but I kind of doubt it. That's not going to mean that the baby is going to have a congested udder. I get a half gallon out of 2 Nigerian girls. Bless them. And you lost one. I'm sorry. That is sad. I'm the same way with my loofah, says Tidbits for Life. I really enjoy your channel. What's your favorite thing to cook? Goat. We had some last night. I brought in a shoulder and a leg and spent quite a while taking it off the bone. When you cook goat for a slower amount of time, you want to make sure you're removing like the silver skin, and that's what it took me a little while. But it was so worth it. I diced it up and seared it. And I put asparagus in it, and with a little bit of A1. What did I have on the side? Oh, I bought boxed stuffing. There's some things that just don't die. And it was so good. But goat is easily one of my favorite things to cook and to eat. Delicious. I informed hubby last night that I'm considering getting a buck and some more doe so we can start breeding program here ourselves. He has always been opposed to having bucks. My bucks, now it might just be that I'm used to them, they don't smell all the time. They only smell during rut. Otherwise, they're great. And not all bucks. Like Pharaoh was pretty stinky. But I felt like Mooch wasn't stinky this last year. So I don't think they're all super stinky. And somebody was telling me that there is, and I hadn't heard about this before the last couple of months, that some people, when they're disbudding their bucks, they'll disbud a specific area that is where the scent glands are, and it's like de-stinking the bucks. Haven't done it myself. Didn't know that was a thing. Not sure if that was done with Mooch or not. I know Mooch doesn't have any scurs. Like, his disbudding was perfect. Pretend it's your favorite shirt and it'll get torn immediately. So I like the one, it's blue with like little white flecks on it. That's probably my favorite one out of all of these ones, and it does have a hole like right here, but it's not dead yet. My goat is 148 days pregnant. Could she go today? I'm so excited. She could go today. I don't know, but they could go up to 155 days before you start to get concerned. 130, apparently 138 is like the earliest that they can go and things be okay, up to 155. Do you have any book suggestions for us to read before we get goats? Yes. So, the one that I don't know, it's in the barn probably because my kidding kit is still in the barn. But, and this, you don't have to want to raise goats holistically for this book to be a really good one. But the Holistic Goat Care book by Jeanne Caldwell, her last name Caldwell will probably be easier to type in. Really good. Really good. It helps you, like, just prepare you for all the things that could go wrong and give you like an idea of what might be required or might be needed should certain things come up, or like when certain things come up. I found my first asparagus coming up today about 2 weeks early. Congratulations. Remember that they're not frost tolerant and the spears will freeze. So if it's gonna freeze and you don't think they're gonna last if you cover them, just pick it and eat it, because it's gonna die anyway and it'll be good for you to benefit from it versus it just turned to mush. Goats on 1 acre, good or bad idea? That's a fine idea. So as long as you can manage them on like a dry lot type situation. Also, 1 acre is quite a bit. You can have several goats on like 1 acre of pasture. My front pasture, the one that's attached to the barn, that's an 1.25 acres, and I did that for the longest time. Now you will potentially encounter more of a worm burden, but if you kind of manage it like a dry lot, you could totally do it, especially with things like bioworma. That's a feed additive that I really like. I thought all the smell was from the pee. Me too. I imagine a lot of it is, because my goodness, that has to play a role, right? But that's what I thought too. It's apparently a thing though, to descent the goat up here. I have 3 minutes left. I got places to go today, so I can't stay longer. I love to just stay and talk, but I've got just 3 minutes left. Last year was our first year for a garden, says Susan, at our current property. This year is chickens and a fence. Next year's goats. I'm learning so much from you. Thank you. That's a good way to do it. Stagger the things instead of jumping in all at once. I really love that. Bugs have a unique smell that isn't all urine. I agree. There's like a muskiness, but it's more prevalent during rut season. I don't smell the bugs, but we just had someone come pick up goats a couple of days ago, and she stood there and she goes, "Your bucks don't smell." I was like, "That's what I thought." I didn't think they did either. Addie thinks they smell. How many goats would you recommend for a family of 7 who loves cheese and butter? Because I'm about to get 44 acres and would love to have my own dairy. It really depends on how much milk each goat produces and if they have a high casein output. Because if you could have some, you wouldn't have to have very many high production does to feed you very well. I only have a few that are high production, and I'm putting 2 gallons of excess milk away in my dairy fridge every day. And when I make cheese, it's a gallon of milk makes 1 pound of cheese. And that goes a long way. It really does. Yes, Jennifer, I'm glad to see you again on the membership. The YouTube gifted it to you, which I thought was awesome. You're welcome for going live. I like to do this once a season, the public lives. Congratulations, our winner was... It went away. But we put it up there. It'll be in the replay. There we go. Is our winner. And I will try to get onto that specific comment on the Q&A video and try to tag Sandy. Sandy is our winner. And so she can send me her mailing address and I'll ship that right out this week. It's small. It'll fit right in my mailbox. So yeah. So if you guys have any other questions, I really like to answer as many questions as I can in my comment section of my videos. So this will have a replay. You could ask it there. You could ask it on today's video, on the community tab, anywhere. And I will try to get to it. If I don't answer, you can send me an email. I check my emails pretty frequently, and I answer quite a lot of questions on there. I'm happy to help if I have the time. So congratulations, Sandy. Everybody have a good rest of your week, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye. Also, new mugs coming in June.